What's up, all you beautiful people? I hope everybody's doing well today, tonight, whatever it is for you. Got a potential banger here. This is one that I didn't even know existed. I've not paid a ton of attention to real steel, but I need to pay a little more attention to them. I've had a couple of their knives before, and one I really liked. One I was kind of iffy on, and you guys can go back and look through on those. The most recent one I did get from Monthly Knife Club Onyx level, and I had a few issues with the QC on it, and then had a few issues with customer service. Anyway, here we are. We've got another one, and this is one of their budget lines. So we'll break into it here. So this is the G5 Metamorph Mark II. This is an intense blue. So with real steel, you got the little slip cover box here. And we'll get this out of the way. Inside, you've got a little piece of foam. Their paperwork for the knife doesn't really say a whole bunch. It just has a little welcome note there, so you can read that if you would like to pause. And also shows you a little bit of information on the knife. So it gives you a picture there, and this is a liner lock 14C28N. Your blade length is 3.5 inches. Your blade thickness is 0.12 inches or 3 millimeters. It is a 70-75 aluminum handle. It is 8.25, give or take, there on the open length, and it's 2.5 ounces, or a little over 2.5 ounces. And again, you have another real steel thing here. Looks like it has different knives and their assemblies, so you can kind of see that. Shows you got a liner lock, you got a button lock, frame lock, and back lock. That's kind of cool. Just shows you some disassembly versions of their knives, and they have some of their, let's see if I can get this to where you can see it, the Megalodon, Luma Lynx. That's a pretty cool looking knife. Kind of like that. I like the fuller on that. And then there is the G10 version of the G5. You got the G-Slip, Phasm, Realism. That's a funky looking knife. Look at that blade shape. That's very interesting. And then their Shade and Luna. So I had the premium knife I had was the Luna Mias. So it was the large Luna. And it just had some issues with how in the hell is this thing closed up? It had some issues with the actual the knife itself. Just it had some rattle to it, and there was no other than just tightening the absolute piss out of the screws. There wasn't really any way to take care of it, so that's what I ended up doing. And it's it fixed it, but they wanted me to pay to ship the daggum thing back to China for them to look at it, and I'm not playing that game. So inside they wrapped the knife up with one of their microfibers. You have the anagram there on the microfiber. It's a really nice little microfiber, and then there we have our first look at the knife. Just like the last one, I really like the looks of it so far. I really like the feel of it so far. I have gotten to play with one, so I actually ordered two of these, one for myself and one for my son. And I played with his a little bit, so I have gotten to mess with these knives. So I'm liking how they work so far. Spoiler alert, I like the knife. So you've got a very nice micro milled aluminum handle. You do have a captured pivot, and it is kind of inset there, which is interesting. All your screws are fairly flush, but your handles are very chamfered, very kind of angular. Well, they're rounded, but they're angular. It's really strange, but I really dig the design. Does it? I can't remember. Does it say who the designer is? I don't think it does, but I will remember here in a minute, and I'll either put it there or I'll say it. It might say it on the blade. I can't remember, but beautiful knife. I love this color blue. There you got your pocket clip, and the pocket clip is actually really nice as well. It's got some chamfering, some cutouts on the pocket clip. Then you have the Real Steel logo there, which is really cool looking. The pocket clip, you do have some mushrooms growing in the shade. It is an inset pocket clip. It is not reversible, but it is inset, but you're using button screws instead of flush mounted screws. Pocket clip is really good. In and out of the pocket's great on this. The micro milling helps out with retention as well. You do have a pretty much full length backspacer, and then of course you have a lanyard pin, no lanyard hole, which I love having that lanyard pin. I don't know, you might call this a 3/4 backspacer, I don't know, but it's almost a full length backspacer. You've got a little cutout there as well, which gives it a little more of a open feel to it. We'll go ahead and open up the blade here. Let me make sure it doesn't have any smuts on it. Yeah, let me go ahead and wipe this blade off real quick. Okay, yeah. I don't know why I couldn't remember his name. It's Ostap Hel design, which he does some awesome design work. One of my favorite knives is actually designed by him, and it's kind of funny because it's not even my knife. It's my wife's knife. It's the Best Techman Dundee or Mini Dundee. It's an Ostap Hel design, and I love that knife. But check out this blade, y'all. This is a wicked looking little blade. So you've got a super fine tip on it, and I mean, and it does come down like really far. Super duper fine tip. You've got on here, you do have the Real Steel logo there, a kind of a wicked looking little swedge with some cutouts here. Jimping does come up about right at or a little over an inch of jimping, probably an inch and a half of jimping there. It comes up to that indentation in the blade. And then again, you've got your swedge. On the back side, you do have the name of the knife, the 14C28N, and the Ostap Hel design. Your grinds are pretty good. You've got a little less of a grind here, and then you do open it up a little bit more. But outside of that, they are fairly even. Again, that wicked tip. I mean, that is just this thing is going to be a super duper package ripper. I mean, just absolutely crazy. So yeah, let's go ahead and back her on up here. Again, I really do like this knife. Absolutely gorgeous knife. You have got a ton of access to that lock bar, and that's something that Ostap Hel does really well in his knife designs, is gives you access. They may look a little more, well, he has a really interesting design language because it's almost gentleman looking knife, gentleman knife, somewhat thin, just almost normal looking, but then the more you look at the knife, it's got different angles to it. It's just got some really interesting design language that I absolutely love. You've got plenty of jimping up here on the front flipper. So one thing that I have heard in some other reviews on this knife, and one thing I will kind of mirror, is even though I think aesthetically it looks beautiful, this should have been rounded off here. So having this section be above the front flipper, because if you look here, it's not quite even with the front flipper. It's actually just a hair above it. Let's use a flat edge here. So if you look there, so that little piece there that's just slightly above, just that little section. It's if you don't hit this front flipper just right, it will cause you to roll off of that front flipper. I mean, it's not a big deal because then you can just grab it with your finger, pull it back, but it's definitely not one that's a, like an amateur front flipper or whatever. So you're right there. Say, if you don't hit it just right, it wants to roll you off. But if you do hit it and you get your thumb out of the way, it works just fine. But if you're not used to front flippers, it will probably throw you off. It'll take a little while to get used to. I'm not super great with them, but I'm good enough I can do this one at least. But again, that liner lock access is just phenomenal, and it does have that inset liner lock, so it actually sets into the scales a little bit. And I mean, it's easy to move. You got plenty of lockup. So your lockup is, it's a little, honestly, it's probably a little late lockup, but not something I'm really too worried about. This isn't a, and even still, I'm still failing this thing because I'm on camera and I'm not really paying attention to what I'm doing. But your lock bar does fold all the way down. Steel lock bar, it does come all the way down here. So it's not just a little short half height or whatever. You do have a full length lock bar. You do have steel liners on this side as well. So that helps give this a little bit more weight, so it doesn't feel like it's super duper lightweight, but very good detent. You can see there if you're, just by doing that, it's got a great sound to it too. Listen to that. Yeah. Anyway, great sounding knife. Again, love the lock bar access. The micro milling helps out a lot. It gives you plenty of texture. The great thing about this knife is when I bought it, and it may still be on sale, I don't know how long it'll be on sale. This was $30 for, what was it? How many inches? 3.5 inches of 14C 28N with micro milled aluminum for $30. Hell yeah. I mean, it's, a really nice, lightweight gentleman's knife. I don't really have any gentleman folders, so this was kind of a pleasant addition to the collection, at least for a little while, till I, get tired of it and quit carrying it. Because it's not really my, well, I don't know, it is almost, it's kind of Warncliffe-y. It's an interesting blade shape. It's one that I, like I said, it definitely caught my attention. So like I said, the only thing I just wish it had a little better access for the front flipper. Now I think they've done like a button lock version of this now, but I'm not sure 100%. But like I said, I will get used to that front flipper, and it'll be all right. Or I will modify the knife if I took and just rounded that off a little bit. I mean, I'll lose the anodizing on that section, but I mean, I could round this down and it wouldn't take much. Just knocking off this peak right here would get you every bit of access that you need. But anyway, I digress. It's a beautiful knife. It's a great looking knife. The functionality is fine. So if you're one of those people that's able to do all sorts of funky stuff with your front flippers, which this one I can. I was able to. How was I doing it? I was able to do the index finger on this one too. I can't remember how I was doing it. I'm going to quit because I'm on camera. I'm going to end up cutting my damn self. We'll check the weight on this one just because I always like to check with my scale and see how far off I am. So I think here they said it was 2.57, so 2.6 ounces. Yeah, so I'm showing 2.5 ounces, so really spot on for that. And again, that's on a 3.5 inch blade. So you have some amazing blade to weight ratio here. Definitely something to look at if you guys haven't already checked it out. Again, I love these Ostap Hel designs. So definitely check it out. Let me know what you guys think. If you've had any dealings with Real Steel, or what you guys think of their knives. So far, I've been impressed with their design work. Getting to mess with both of these knives, both mine and the one I got for my son. The QC is good, at least on the two that I got. They're pretty much identical. They both have the same lockup, that kind of late lockup. They both have the same, action, and they both have the same detent. So no issues there. We'll check the sharpness. So very good there. Let's see if I have. Oh, I might have a. So push cut in there. Push cut in there. Okay, I thought I'd found a burr or something, but it's just how I'm cutting. So the knife is definitely sharp. It will push cut this little thin paper. So no issues there whatsoever. This thing will be a package destroyer. Be an amazing letter opener. Like I said, gents folder, it definitely is. So, but with that, I'm going to get off here. I hope everybody has a wonderful week, and we'll see you on the next one. Just remember to be kind, be humble, be EDC. Take care.